She's ready for you now, Officer Ashford. Do you need any help at all?
Help? Help, she says. Unless you can help me cut the red tape, I should be out there, looking. No. No thanks. I can manage.
Daniel, it's good to see you, in spite of the bandages. Please, take a seat.
Mum?
Can I get you something? A water? Some tea, perhaps?
The doctors said I shouldn't drink for a while. They might need to operate again.
I do appreciate you coming straight over from the ward. The severity of the situation required an immediate after-action debrief. You know the drill.
Of course.
We've informed your wife, by the way. She's aware you're in safe hands.
Safe?
Let's cut to the chase. Whilst we will need to establish who the background players were and how that much fertiliser ended up in Luton, the word from above is to start with the schoolgirl. The white, middle-class, very British schoolgirl. Just who is this Misty Turner, and what was she doing with our bomber?
Misty, is there any news?
There was no trace of a body. Not for a female her age, at least.
I saw her after the explosion. Misty! How could you? Why?
Stay focused, Daniel. The more info we get now, the sooner we trace her. You'll need to be open book with me.
I'm sorry. Yes. Open book. Of course.
So, from the top. When exactly did she become part of the equation?
It all started with Malik Khan. He'd been quite a lucrative asset for us. Up until then. It was my eldest daughter's birthday, 15th of March. And it was Adila's, Officer Bedford's, first evening in the field.
It's not all fun and games, you know. I wasn't lying when I said 95% of our time on ops is spent waiting for something to happen. Or someone to show.
Beats sitting behind that awful desk and leaving it 5 on the dot every day.
Trust me, when you have kids, you'll miss the routine.
If I have kids, thank you. They're more trouble than they're worth half the time, not to mention the cost.
There's the emotional one, too. That's another party I've missed tonight, for the sake of Queen and country.
Let's hope little Marlett comes up with the goods then.
He's been quite the talker of late. Our eyes and ears inside Chalk Academy, as well as on the estate.
Do you think he's high enough up the food chain to have something concrete on any of the major players, though?
The Berry Park heroin business brings with it a whole lot of cash. It's got to run up somewhere, right?
Like Al-Qahadim. So what, Malik snitches on his suppliers and we look to follow the money up the chain?
Not exactly. Well, not yet, anyway. For now, it's all about prevention. We're focusing on the people he sells skunk to, his clients at the school, and the ones that are spouting the most anti-Western rhetoric there. They're often the same, disillusioned and angry young men. We'll hopefully get a heads up on Al-Qahadim from one of the suppliers in time. There's bound to be a doorkeeper amongst them.
That's if AK's still alive.
He's out there somewhere. That's Malik, the lad in the baseball cap.
He's tiny.
We can't have everything.
Let me get this straight. Only you and Officer Bedford knew the identity of the Berry Park asset at that stage?
Yes. I turned Malik myself and was grooming Bedford to be our next field officer. I had to introduce her.
And you were the one who got the Class A intent to supply charge dropped.
I told the local chief inspector he was involved in a bigger case. Nothing more. No questions asked. Questions? You're the one asking all the questions now. It's starting to feel like I'm being black boxed by my own CO. So you still don't think my theory on Al-Qahadeen holds any weight, even now, after everything that went down?
We'll talk about your main target later. Let's focus on ours first. What did a young man like this Malik Khan have to do with an upstanding girl like Misty?
It wasn't Malik himself.
Listen, we're gonna have to stop meeting so close to my ends. If someone sees me talking to the feds, and it'll be...
Nobody knows who we are. If someone asks, just tell them we're your punters.
Just like that? Yo. Besides, I never serve up so close to home. Let's move from here, innit? Who's she?
My new colleague. She'll be meeting with you when I can't. You can call her Jane.
She don't look like a Jane.
And do I look like a John?
Jane is fine, Malik. Now, what have you got for us?
About?
Come on, you know the drill by now. Anything new with your clientele at school?
Nah, B, they're still my dogs, innit?
And the mosque? There must be something going on.
I can't help it if it's quiet, can I?
If he can't deliver any post-Friday prayer gossip, how on earth do you think he'll lead us up to the Al-Qahideems of this world? Should have let him do the time for that H.
Hang on. Roll that back a minute. What was that name? Al-Qahu?
Al-Qahideem? Why?
Nothing. It's just that's the second time I've heard that name in a week.
You sure about that?
For real? Jamal Hussein was bigging him up on the phone to someone when I dropped off a little ting to his brother.
And?
Nothing else. I just heard a name. Unusual, innit?
Jamal Hussein. The last time you mentioned him, you said he'd quietened right down at school. He'd even stopped going to the mosque.
Yeah. He's had his head in his books, innit? He spent most of his time in the library at lunch these days.
A studious one, hey?
You what?
He's very keen on his studies.
Could be. Although, there's a different theory floating around the mandem.
Go on.
Well, you know how he used to be banging to his scriptures and always give it the old holier-than-thou routine? Well, they reckon he's only gone and fallen for a Snow White.
Huh? He's into coke.
Snow White, as in Caucasian female.
Oh.
A girl named Misty Turner. Raw, year 13, tall, long blonde hair. Looks like a proper slag if you ask me though.
Watch your mouth.
So you took the word of a turncoat drug dealer and went to recruit this girl. For what gain? To investigate someone who, by your own admission, was no longer on our radar.
Jamal had been quiet, yes. But that doesn't mean he was no longer a threat. And why would he be singing the praises of a cleric that was supposed to be dead? I'd have pulled his brother in, but we knew from Malik that they weren't on good terms. Some theological dispute or another. It's all there in my files, which I can see you've been reading. It felt right to put some manpower onto him. Call it a hunch. Part of the craft.
A hunch? It's starting to feel more like an obsession. You knew full well our American cousins said they'd incinerated AK in last year's drone strike in Sanaya.
Local chatter indicated otherwise, ma'am. The double...
Ashford, I won't tell you again. We're here to talk about the girl.
Then connect the bloody dots.
I need to report to Cobra on the hour.
Yes, ma'am.
Presumably you ran a full background check on Misty before you decided to recruit her.
I followed all the protocols, yes. She came up clean as a whistle. Whiter than white.
She's also 18 years old. A bit too young to play bait in a honey trap, don't you think?
It wasn't that simple.
It never is.
Just getting out the shower. Down in a minute.
Talk to me, Adila. What's new?
Where are you?
Just outside Misty's house. Everything okay?
You haven't heard?
Heard what?
A body's been found in Brangton Woods. A young male. Looks like suicide. It's just been ID'd as Malik Khan.
I'm so sorry to have kept you waiting. How can I help?
Hello, Misty.